Hi there, welcome to another edition of the Akashic Portal Weekly. We're looking at the week of June 1 through 7th, 2020. And I'm your host, Jen Duchene. So, what a crazy time we're having, right? Being pushed into spaces where we may feel extremely uncomfortable. And then on the other hand, there may be that feeling of exhilaration, that sense of, I know I need to take action, and now I need to look at what action I'm going to take. What is my big picture? What am I aligning myself to? What is true for me? So as always, we are going to be using the Illuminating Journey cards to give us some insight into this week. I've already asked the question. I will mention that we do have an eclipse. We're in the doorway of the eclipse season, and it's 3 eclipses. And the first one is on the 5th, which is this week. So we are already in that churning of the change. June is a 1 month, 4 and 6 is 10, which gives us 1. So we know it's about new beginnings. This is all about the portal of what needs to change. What are we focusing on? Let's see what the cards have to say. So the first card is the 19. Wow, we have had the same card. I believe this is the 3rd week in a row, which is pretty intense. This idea of having the 19, 1 and 9 is 10. So it's very much about this idea of new beginnings. The 1 and the 9, endings and beginnings. In that space, in the space that is endings and beginnings, there is a lot of energy that needs to move. There's the idea of being able to or needing to look at the bigger picture. I think sometimes when we think there's a new time coming, or that there's a lot of uproar and stuff happening that maybe we knew about or we didn't know about, we were in denial or we hadn't seen it or we didn't quite understand how it was, and now all this emotion is coming up, all this churning within us, all this grieving and trying to find where we belong, like what is mine to belong to, because there's this group and there's this group and there's these things and I'm not quite sure where I fit or what I can do. And finding or looking at what's the bigger picture of my truth. So I can, like, let me just look at the lay of the land, and I always feel like this gladiator who's risen up above what has been or what is in action and going, I need to get the big picture. And you can see here is the land, the water, the bridges, this coming together of the council, the shifting, the new moon, there's all of this newness that comes from going, I've been preparing, that's the gladiator, I've been preparing for this all my life, or maybe many lifetimes. I'm ready, but now before I spring into action, I need to reflect on what is going to feed me, what is my truth, where do I align? And my eye keeps going here to the goblet, to the Holy Grail, right? The Holy Grail, the energy of the divine, that feminine, the intuition, right? Where the energy that's feeding the gladiator within you, the warrior within you, the one that must now rise up. And I think this is a sense of caution, if you will, in this idea of allowing your intuition to feed you, feed your heart, feed your awareness, so you're not just impulsively taking action, even though there's a lot going on, but instead are allowing yourself to be fed. Let me see what is true. Let me really be with this truth. Let me be with my pain. Let me be with the horror and the sense of betrayal and the sense of disconnectedness, and know that this around, which looks like something really beautiful, is something I desire. I desire to see this new world coming into being, this new potential of coming together, of counseling together, of kind of looking at what the land is teaching us, how humanity must find itself cradled in the earth and feel that inner peace and the connection to make choices. And so you are being called, we are all being called to sit with that, sit with the discomfort, sit with the awareness that we may not have seen things, that we may not be ready to see things. And instead of impulsively dashing out and attacking and really thinking about what is it? What is the cause that is true for you? And I don't know if you can see it, but the shield of the gladiator here, it's very beautiful. It looks kind of like a mother of pearl shield. And in the center is a labyrinth that is made of a snake. And you can see the headdress of the gladiator is the, what do they call that? Fleur de lis, the fleur de lis. That's very interesting because I was thinking this morning about what was coming through in my dream, the fleur de lis, this idea of 3 pieces of what they call the flower or the lotus of the Nile, the awareness of what needs to be in place in order to go forward. So what is the foundation? What is the thing you're creating? And then, of course, here we have this Aztec sun. So there's all kinds of things happening here, and this kind of arrow that's pointing towards the action that must be taken, the cause or the feeling or the truth of our emotions that are calling us to kind of focus, like this is where I'm going, this is what I believe in, what else do I need to know, what's my bigger plan, so I can actually start to build what I believe in and get connected to and be in congruency with what is true for me. So that feels like a very important part of this time, this new beginning, right? They're giving us a reminder. Like when this same image is repeated over and over, there's a rhythm that breaks into our field where maybe we have been in disarray or disorganized or just in denial, and now we're seeing this over and over again. We're seeing the image, we're being reminded of looking at what is true, what is it we want to be fed by, what is it that we want to feed, how can we show up more in that authenticity of who we are, as opposed to just showing up to impress people. A lot of what we have been doing or building up to as we've been building ourselves to prepare for this time is being about how we show up for others. And maybe that's not always our truth, but it's something we, like in social media, we often show up in a certain light, like we want to show, like kind of picture ourselves in a certain way. And it's funny because my eye is catching the snake here in this painting, and there's the triangle. It's very interesting with the door. I actually painted, this is a medicinal painting I did in a class. So it's really interesting that I can see the energies coming out of the painting as I'm talking. But this idea of in social media, or the way we've kind of been groomed for a while, is to think about what we're presenting that may or may not be completely true about who we are, but it's a front, right? And so now we have to be able to line up behind our front. We have to be able to, get inside our gladiator suit. We have to be able to allow this divine energy of the goblet to feed us, so that we are truly connected to that holy grail, to the energy that feeds the truth, that feeds our heart, that allows us to activate through compassion, through without illusion, right? So we can really get focused on what this time means to us and what we need to do. And the second card, and I just love this card, is just one of the tools that crystal, the light, the energy, the flow of just being in the light, allowing the light to touch us, allowing the light to help us see with greater fortitude, greater vision, that we can actually be in the light or see through the light. So we're not fooling ourselves, but we're very focused. We're seeing the big picture. We're seeing what is our part to do, and we're acting from that place of light and love. Which doesn't mean that we, it's not like we're not going around going, oh, kumbaya, everybody, let's just sing. This is the light of truth, which means we see all beings. We know who they are. We know they are divine. Everyone we meet, everything is a divine being making a choice. So we can see someone else's truth, go, oh, I see, you believe this, and that's great. I don't believe it, but I accept that you believe it. So instead of trying to convince them to believe what you believe, you just go, okay, well, clearly, whatever reason, this person doesn't see what I see. So how do I kind of just focus on doing what I need to do based on what I see and believe? And how do I find the people I need to link with? And just like really the way you find them is really by being very devoted and disciplined to what you are wanting to be connected to. And the light will lead you to all of those things. So it feels very much like being in a pillar of light and being allowed to kind of expand your light so that you can be found and be seen and be in that kind of perception of your truth, and you can be devoted and disciplined to what you're creating and who you're connecting to. That feels very powerful. So there we have this idea of the light, and then my eye catches this, the globe around this, the council meeting, kind of the light of the shield. When you have that shield of light, right? When you're coming to a place with the shield of light, when you're knowing that your truth is filled with light, that you're not there to try to force anything, but you're there to hold the truth you believe in, then you are invincible, and you do the work of the divine, and you serve the earth and humanity and your soul, and it is so powerful. And the third card is the number 9, and I just love that these divine and gorgeous illuminating journey cards are giving us this beautiful message, because for me, when I see the 9, it's that, it's like there's the gladiator, right? Here's the gladiator, here's the gladiator in the distance on the mountain, having climbed through this whole journey to kind of get to the peak of what is. And this journey is not about others, although others may be impacted. This journey is about you following the truth of who you are, really embodying the energy, the dimension of your soul. So being in complete peace with your own truth, with your own sovereignty, and who you're becoming, right? In this journey, who are you behind all of these facades? What's behind the suit of the gladiator? What is the heart that beats, the intention that guides you, the light and the love that takes you on this journey through the Rainbow Mountains to scale the peak of what you believe in, what you're here to express. And I feel like this gladiator on the top there is extended into the mountain, but also dancing with the joy of here I am. I found this place to express who I am. I'm expressing me. I'm being me. This is to me, it's a card of the divine, and that feminine energy, if you will, that allows us to just bathe in the light of love, being the acceptance of who we are, just adore and love ourselves so that we can express ourselves, so we can reach the heights of who we are, and be in collaboration with others without feeling any need to bring any others down. to achieve what we're here to do, but to do it in a collaborative, connected way, because we're truly going on our own journey, right? We're going on our own journey, and we have companions, and we're all kind of going more or less to the same place. And the place that we are going to is here, right? To this land that is so green and sacred, and has the water and the air and the light of the divine, and it's the joy of being in complete connection with everything in the world, right? Belonging, truly expressed. Uh, so, and it's interesting here we have the 1 and 9. I always feel like the light, this crystal is like a 1. And then here we have the 9 and the colors, the reds, the pinks, the yellows, the heart-based colors of the energy, of the field, of feeling truly safe enough to express who we are. So I feel like this reading this week is very much about finding, gathering, and getting to the strength of who we are. And this is not this like, oh, I'm going to pull myself up by my bootstraps type of strength, but this truly is the strength of knowing the divine in you, the love inside of you, feeling the light of who you are, the truth of your nature, and how you want to express that and be expressed in the world, and how you can collaborate to bring about that ultimate joy of being here at this time, part of this movement that is going to embrace love and articulate new things, and bring the light in, work together to bring the light in, and to lay the foundation of this new time we are creating. I would love to hear what you saw and felt, and perhaps some response to what I expressed or heard through the cards. And if you are interested in buying your own deck of cards, the Illuminating Journey cards, they are available on my website, jenduchene.com. I will put a link below. I am starting a monthly membership for people who want to work with the cards and learn how to read them with greater skill. So there's that too. I will have a link below for that. And otherwise, just like and subscribe. I would love your addition to joining my channel, and I appreciate you. I love you. With the radiance that I have been given by the divine to be present here, just know you are loved, and that your joy and creativity and expression is celebrated. Till next time,